So despite some of the positive economic data in the U.S. we've seen recently, our guest has taken a longer-term position that America is in decline and that the real surprises to the upside are going to come from Asia. Lucky for us, he's here to tell us about it. He's commodities guru Jim Rogers. His newest book is Street Smarts, which is a memoir. So I thought we would talk big picture. Thanks for being here, first of all.
I am delighted to be here. I'm delighted to see your new job. I hope you have good success.
Thank you. Well, we are here in New York, and it's no surprise to probably many of the people watching that you moved your family to Singapore in 2007 and took your human capital, at least, and invested it there. So just remind us why you did that.
Well, in my view, China is going to be the most important country in the 21st century, so I wanted my children to grow up speaking Mandarin and to know Asia. I think the best skill that I can give two little girls born in 2003 and 2008 is to know Asia and to speak perfect Mandarin. It's a simple thing.
And why? Because, of course, there's going to be blips on the radar in terms of long-term growth or decline in the U.S. and in China. So do you ignore those things and just look at the big picture?
When the UK went into decline, which was the greatest country in the 19th century, it took a long, long time. So America's not about to fall off the face of the earth. I'm an American citizen. My kids are American citizens. We pay taxes here. I vote here. So no, this is not going to happen overnight. But had you moved to New York in 1907 from the UK, you would have done a very smart thing. So that's the way I'm looking at this now. No, listen, America had a lot of setbacks as we rose to be the greatest country in the 20th century. China will have huge setbacks. This is not going to happen overnight or straight up.
So when you see positive data in the U.S. for housing or jobs or the stock market gains, and when you see, people calling China a bubble of malinvestment, are those things that you kind of ignore and just see as a blip on your long-term secular radar?
Miss Lister, in the 19th century, America had a horrible civil war. We had 15 depressions with a D. We had no human rights. We had very little rule of law. You could buy and sell congressmen. You can still buy and sell congressmen, but in those days they were cheap. You could buy 4 or 5 congressmen for the price of one now. No, America was a mess in the 19th century, and yet we became the greatest country in the 20th century. Yeah, China's going to have all of those problems. Don't worry. There'll be plenty of problems, plenty of things to say we told you so.
Okay. Now, you don't think that the U.S. is going down the tubes tomorrow, but you have been very critical of things like higher education. You've called tertiary education in the U.S. the biggest bubble. So would you advise, in preparation of an imminent decline, kids to not go to college or only go to college if you're going to study science and technology? And this is for folks that don't want to study farming.
Well, it depends on your own interest. If you love pottery, go to university and study pottery or history of art or something like that. No, you have to follow your own passions. There's no question about that. But we are learning that American education is extremely expensive. Many kids are coming out saddled with huge debts. You know the debt. You know the numbers as well as I do. You know, we have, what, 200,000 janitors with college degrees now. They cannot get jobs, or else their degrees are not worth anything. No, tertiary education in America is a bubble. There's no question about that. I have no idea where my kids will go to college, if they go to college, when they're old enough, but I want them to follow their passions, whatever they are.
Well, that's very good fatherly advice. Now, in terms of preparation for kind of the dynamics and the changes going on in the world, where should individual investors be positioned? I know you're a commodities guru. Which commodities should people buy?
Well, at the moment, I happen to be more bullish on agriculture than anything else, but you've heard me say that before.
Yeah.
I'm optimistic about Russia. I'm investing in Russia if I can. Russia's been sort of beaten down, and I was bearish on Russia since 1966 when I first went to Russia, but I've changed after 46 years. I think I see more positive things taking place there. Now, there are lots of places to make money.
How can an average person invest in Russia? Is there a good way for them to do so?
Pick up the phone, you buy stocks. There are plenty of Russian stocks that trade here. You can buy the ruble. It's not that hard. And then now, these days, there are ETFs on just about anything you want to do. You can buy Russian bonds. Russian bonds trade just like United States bonds do. All of this is very easy now. You know, in 2013, partly because of Yahoo Finance, people can do just about anything they want to.
What about, riddle me this, because the last time we spoke, you were bullish on North Korea and some potential changes there. Is there any way to invest in North Korea? Korea?
Well, the only way I know, short of moving there, which I'm not going to do, is to buy
Right.
stamps or gold coins or silver coins from North Korea. I have made investments in North Korea, but not in the stock market because there's not a stock market.
What about the U.S. stock market? We have seen it get close to some records. Now, to quote from your book, I know that you said that there's nothing quite like a bull market to make people think they are smart. Has the market been going up because people are smart, and will it continue to go up?
No, the market's going up because the Bank of Japan said 2 months ago we're going to print unlimited amounts of money. And then Mr. Bernanke didn't want to be outdone and said, well, we'll print a lot of money too. So you have the Bank of Japan and the Federal Reserve at the same time that Europeans are printing money. I mean, this is staggering what's going on. It's going to end so badly for all of us. We're all going to wake up one day with a horrible headache, probably 2014, 2015.
Okay.
Or the end of 2013.
I'll get my Tylenol ready. I'll start stockpiling that for those coming years. Before we go, just looking back, in 1973, you co-founded Quantum Fund with George Soros. You know, your two names that we've heard about ever since you retired at 37. You guys had returns of 4,200% over a 10-year period versus 47% for the S&P 500. Do those kind of returns exist today? Are they possible? Will they ever be?
Sure, anything's possible if you do your homework. In the 1970s, the markets were terrible, as you probably know or have read about. I mean, there were no big bull markets except maybe commodities in those days. Yeah, anything is possible. It's not easy. Is it easy? No, it's not easy.
But you were a pioneer. There weren't a lot of hedge funds around at the time. There weren't a lot of people in the U.S. Investing internationally.
That's very true.
It's more crowded now.
That's very, very true. In those days, most people couldn't find Denmark. Well, they still can't find Denmark on a map. But no, you're exactly right. There were very few international funds in those. There were very few hedge funds in those days. But still, I mean, there were smart people, and I'm sure there are lots of smart people now.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Jim Rogers.
My pleasure.